Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Wow Wednesday. And wow, I've got some wow things to wow about. I was originally going to do the stream about Sergio Scariolo losing his job with Virtuous Bologna and talking about how, the head of Virtuous Bologna straight up said you interviewing with the Raptors and Real Madrid made us feel like second class team. And we're not cool with that. So, we're firing you because you took interviews. Now, the thing I have a problem with this, just real quick, is that y'all gave him permission to do the interviews. Like you said, yeah, sure, do the interviews. Like, what is that? Y'all are messed up. I really think that like Virtuous is like kind of arrogant and acting a little weird in this, but I think there's a certain level of this in general in the Italian league in general. And Sergio, he's upset about it because he feels like he got unfairly dismissed. And they went and hired somebody in his place almost right away. So it's all messed up. I don't know if there's any repercussions for Virtuous or Sergio in certain ways as far as getting his job back or trying to do things. But yeah, it's a mess. And they straight up said, because you interviewed with the Raptors, we felt like you treated us like a second class team. So it's like, no, we're not like that. We have more pride. We're firing you. And it wasn't just us. He did interview with Real Madrid also, which was a big different job too in the Spanish league, obviously from the Italian league. So just want to touch on that. And then, there's another thing that happened yesterday that absolutely has me wowing, other than the Rico Hines runs, and it's Siakam. You know, Man, listen, I used to live in Kensington Market. I lived there for 4 years, up until a couple years ago. Really, when the pandemic started, I moved. And there's a court just south of my old house in Kensington, in Augusta, Alexandra Park or something like that. I think is what it's called. And there's a housing division just south of Kensington that's getting torn down. Really, to be honest, they're ripping it down and building new condos in its place. There's a little bit of gentrification going on in that area. Well, there's a court in that neighborhood that has been really neglected for years and years and years. I know because I used to go shoot on it all the time. It was my local court. If I wanted to go shoot hoops when I lived in Kensington, I went to this court that was just a 5-minute walk from my front doorstep. So, Siakam went there 2 years ago when I first started this channel. One of the first streams I ever did. I don't even think it was a stream at that time. It was just me talking. I talked about Siakam wandering around downtown Toronto on the streetcar, hanging around Spadina and Chinatown and Kensington, and he happened to find this court, the court that I like to shoot on. And he was just out there shooting hoops himself. It has a beautiful mural on the wall with blue on it, and it's just a court that I used to go to with my roommates and shoot shots up. Well, he went back there again yesterday and then put it on blast majorly with the Raptors because they fixed up the court for the kids in that neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you right now, those kids in that neighborhood are kids that are in trouble. Some of them, there's gang activity in that area around there. And it's real easy to fall into bad habits and the bad places around that part of Toronto. I'm going to tell you right now. But that court was not always taken care of. There wouldn't be a net on it. There wouldn't be certain things about it that were like up to date or like in good shape. I know I went and shot on it all the time. Well, Siakam returned yesterday, and he didn't just come by himself. He came with John Tavares of the Maple Leafs, which is very strange to me. First of all, I love the cross promotion. Hometown boy John Tavares of the Maple Leafs standing with Siakam and trading jerseys at that court as they dedicate a brand new court yesterday. You go, Siakam. I don't know why you have a special connection with the court that I used to shoot on near Kensington. That court is very famous to neighbors around that neighborhood. Kids that grew up in that neighborhood shot on that hoop their whole entire life. So this pretty freaking cool. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is a real authentic Toronto court that a lot of real authentic, real Torontonians have played on and grown up on throughout the years. And kudos to you, Pascal. I don't know what your attachment is to that old Alexandra Park court, but thank you for doing what y'all did yesterday and getting John Tavares to come down there too. Wow. That's what I gotta say. It's Wednesday, and I'm saying, wow. Wow, indeed. I love it. I love it, Siakam. You keep going. Isaac Campbell's first in on the comments. Let's see. He's got OG. He's got Jakob. He's got Scotty. He's got Pascal. He's got Dennis. He's got Darko. And he's clapping. He's got me and Mo also. Listen, most of your lineup there was at Rico Hines, and the latest Rico Hines runs clip was finally dropped yesterday. And wow, once again, wow. This was the Raptors Rico Hines runs, and we're very, very happy to see it. In fact, there were a couple surprises on it, a couple of disappointments, but not really. But yeah, let's see. OG wasn't there. Jakob was, which I was very shocked about. I'm gonna tell you right now, I had no idea that Jakob Pertl showed up for Rico Hines runs until yesterday. I had no idea that Precious Achua has shown up for Rico Hines runs this year. In some ways, I didn't really know. I saw Malachi in the pictures, but I was happy to see Malachi there also. A lot of the guys who didn't make the Rico runs last year made them this year, and some of the guys who didn't make them last year didn't make them this year. And then there were some that made both years. But yeah, OG didn't make it this year, but he was there last year. Jakob made it this year. Scotty's made it both years. Pascal was there both years, but he wasn't in the clip yesterday. Dennis, not going to Rico Hines runs yet, and neither has Darko. So, yeah, we got to keep track of this because honestly, in that latest Rico Hines clip, the Raptors have 5 squads of 5. There's 15 guys there, and I'm going to tell you who all was there real soon. You may not have caught every single one of the Raptors that was there. There was a third team that was there also that did not get featured very much in the clips partly because they were the lowest team playing that day, and also because there was a lot of Raptors there, and this team just didn't get put on blast. Good morning from Trevor J. Good morning, Raptors family. Good morning to you, Commissioner J. I have a new addition to my back here, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but this is a light. It's really hard to see because it's bright out. But look at that. Trevor J sent me something new for the show. I'll put my hand behind it so you can see it. It goes in different colors. I have it on red right now, of course, for Raptors. But it's a guy with a jersey that says Victory 24. He's shooting a basket, and it lights up, and it changes colors. Like it has a little remote. Hang on. And I can go, let me see. Let's make it purple. Purple. There you go. There's a purple one now. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Trevor, for sending it. He said he just wanted me to have more bling as far as like the background that I got on my screen. So here we go. We got a new light behind me. I think it'll work better when it's not daylight. But you can't see it too well right now behind me right now. But that's it right there. Pretty cool. Thank you, Trevor, once again. I'll figure out interesting ways to utilize this. I'll put it back on red. Yeah, thank you, Commissioner J. Evelyn is here. Granny Evelyn, good morning, beautiful minds. Enjoy the weather. Get a lot of sunshine. Thank you, Evelyn. Great advice. Get outside and get that sun. Touch that grass, like Scotty says. Trevor J saying also, finally, we get to see the good Rico runs with all the Raptors players. This run is interesting because it wasn't just the Raptors that were there. There were some really top-notch NBA players that were there also. Like, it wasn't like a slouch day. It was not at all. Harrison Barnes, Isaiah Thomas, the Boston Celtics guy who's trying to get back in the league, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Christopher, Mo Harkless, Seth Curry, Grant Williams, Jaden Harvey, Derek Lively. There were a lot of people there. Marvin Bagley Jr., a lot of good talent running with the Raptors in those clips. And I'll tell you what, one team seemed to dominate at the Rico Hines Raptor runs this year, and it was led by Scotty Barnes. In fact, Scotty Barnes in particular, looking really, really dominant at Rico Hines runs in that clip. He was really taking over right at the beginning and taking the shots himself and being selfish to a degree. But in some ways, I didn't mind it. In some ways, I'm all about team ball, but with Scott, with his talent, we kind of want to see Scotty be more aggressive and take more advantage of his great natural talent to make us win. So if Scotty's going to be like this, like he was in that Rico Hines runs clip, this is good because he looked like a superstar ready to carry his team on his back. And he didn't fail. He was dominating. In fact, the team that dominated that clip was Scotty, Gary Trent Jr., Malachi Flynn, Jakob Pertl, and Grady Dick. That's three three-point shooters, a big pivot, and Scotty. And I was thinking about it, like, how are they doing it? Well, in some ways, Jakob was doing a lot of dirty work and a lot of rebounding, a lot of defense, a lot of, he was even blocking shots. Jakob Pertl is such a solid, good player, and I am so happy the Raptors have him on our team. Because on that clip you watched yesterday, you'll see he's not out at Rico Hines Runs trying to do anything different than what he does. He just does what he does, and he does it well. And he was doing it out there. And then some of the people noticed in the comments that Jakob, Scotty, and Precious look bigger than everybody else out there. And they're exactly right. These guys are big, giant dudes that are ready to throw some muscle around. But it was really cool to see a team like that with three really good three-point shooters, and they were bombing them, except for Grady. They're saying Grady was getting froze out, but I don't believe that. I think that Grady was just playing within the flow of the game, and he knows his place on the ladder as far as where he is. He's at the bottom rung, and he's got to earn time. And, there's different lessons. You don't just get it all at once right away. Oh, Grady, go give the ball to Grady. No, Grady was doing these things that he needs to do as a rookie to start learning the NBA game. And that's basically hustle, good defense, rebounding, looking for the other guys, playing with the other guys, and playing smart. Now, if your number gets called and you get shots, that's great. But otherwise, play solid all around the other ways. And that's what he was doing. He played really well, hustling. Some people will say, well, Grady didn't look that good on there, but that's not true. He was playing really well about like getting through the double teams and the screens, his switching, and then the stuff he was doing defensively with certain players on his team, Jakob in particular, was really, really good also. We saw him hustling for offensive rebounds, hustling and getting to places real quick in different things. So temper your expectations for Grady offensively to a degree, because some ways we need him to learn all the basics of like defensive spacing, playing with the team and being smart in those kind of ways more than we need him to just nail a bunch of threes. So it was cool. Gary and Malachi got those open threes at times and nailed them. Gary was looking badass with his Undertaker shirt. And if y'all didn't notice, that's what those eyes were on his shirt. He had a really cool shirt. Gary's always wearing like the most unconventional gym gear. Like last year, he was wearing like sweatpants and like a hood, like a toque or something like that. He's always wearing something that's like, what is he wearing at this? Like everybody else is wearing normal stuff like that you wear playing basketball. He's not. He's wearing an Undertaker shirt with the Undertaker's face real big and it says rest in peace on it. And it got me thinking, it's like, dude, does he know that who's going to be sitting at sidelines? Because you can watch that whole clip. You know who's sitting there watching the whole Raptors, Rico Hines run, scrimmage run. Nick Nurse. Yeah. Nick Nurse is front and center sitting on that bench watching his old team run against each other. When it was Raptors versus Raptors, Nick was just watching his old team run. And I was wondering, does that make him sad? Does that make him sad to sit there and see the amazing stud athletes that he used to coach run around in front of him, playing, like doing really awesome things on the court? Some people are saying this Rico Hines Runs clip was the most physical and the most up-tempo one of the ones so far that we've seen this summer. And Nick sitting there watching his squad run up and down the court. I got to wonder what is in his brain thinking at that moment. In some ways, he's looking at the new guys coming in, and maybe it's hard for him to turn off the mind of the head coach of the Raptors out of his head. He sees Javon Freeman Liberty, Marquise Noel, and Grady Dick running around with his old guys that he had last year. He's like, well, yeah, I could use Marquise this way. I'm like, no, Nick, you can't, because you're coaching those guys over there that are also here. Yeah, the Sixers had a team that was involved in this clip, and the Raptors played them a few times. We beat them 2 out of 3. I think they beat us once. DeAnthony Melton was killing it. There was one part in particular on the clip where it was real close, and they were hunkering down. They wanted to stop them. I could tell Scotty had flipped the switch, and they were about to win. They were game point, and we were at like 5. And Scotty like went and killed it and forced himself to get a couple baskets, like very much bully ball. And then they were trying to play good defense, and Malachi put his hand up right in Melton's face which is good defense. I have no problem with that, but I think it pissed Melton off because as soon as he put his face up, he said, "I'm gonna shoot it with your face, my hand, your hand in my face," and he did. He nailed it and won the game at that moment. Really, really interesting stuff. I could break this thing down moment by moment and tell you all the cool things like Gary Trent blocking the center from the other side, or some of the very interesting flashes of pick and roll between Chris Boucher and Marquise Noel. There's a lot in this. I mean, like I said, there's that starting lineup. The number one team was Scotty, Grady, Gary, Malachi, and Jakob. And then you had Chris, Precious, Jeffrey Doughton Jr., Javon Freeman Liberty, and Marquise and Ron Harper kind of switching around between the six of them. But then one of them would be with the other team that they didn't really show, which was David O'Banner, Mohamedou Guy, Daryl Morsell was at that Rico Hines run. If you pay real close attention, you'll see 905's Daryl Morsell running with them also. And I also saw at this practice, of course, Jim Sand, you can see him at the end representing the coach's staff. But I also saw Pat Delaney in that gym also. If you pay real close attention, you can see assistant coach Pat Delaney of the Toronto Raptors sitting in the corner also watching that game. So huge, huge Raptors contingency in the latest Rico Hines runs. I highly recommend watching it. This is what we've been waiting for all August to get this clip. And we finally got it. Thank God. Thank you, Rico. Now, he sandwiched other teams around it. He's kind of hiding that it's the Raptors Rico Hines runs clip. But yeah, it's in there and it's meaty. And woo, it's good. There's a lot of fun stuff and it will get you excited for this season coming up. I'm telling you right now, it will. Kareem Thomas is here. Good morning. Hope you guys checked out Scotty and the Rico runs. Looks like we have the greatest Raptor of all time brewing. Dude is cooking eggs. I posted a video in the Facebook group chat. Okay, I want to see what you posted, Kareem. Let me see what you're saying here because I can go do that. Let me see what he posted. What did you post in the chat? Hang on. You're under your girlfriend's name, aren't you? I'm gonna have to figure out what you did. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see what you posted in the group. Yeah, we watched this a lot yesterday. This is what Monique and I have been talking about for a while. When is the Raptors Rico Hines runs clip going to come out? Scotty has a real attitude in this. Some people described it as he wants to prove something to his own team. And I won't doubt that that's partly what he was doing. There's that one breakaway where he does the face off to Ron Harper. It really, really kind of bugged me, but also kind of showed like, you know what? In some ways, he wants to antagonize these guys to be better. And I think it worked. You know, he did the whole thing where he stared at Ron right before he was going to dunk and so dared him. He's like, you going to come and try and challenge me going up of the shot? Are you going to do it? No, you're not. And it's what he kind of looked at him for. And Ron was like, yeah, I'm not going to mess with you. And he just slammed it down. You know, that's cocky. That's arrogant. And that's stuff I hate. But in some ways, if we want Scott to be what Kareem's saying, the greatest Raptor of all time, he's got to have that kind of attitude in him to a degree. You know, it was very cocky and it's fundamentally not good, but this is his signature thing, staring people down or turning around and looking at them before he dunks. In some ways, I hate it, but if he's successful and he does it and he doesn't cause us any trouble, then I'm okay with it. The other play that was interesting to me was when Jeffrey Doughton Jr. had a breakaway coming down the other way and Scotty just straight up pushed him. He just straight up pushed him. He didn't even try and guard him or anything. He just pushed him. And it made me think of last year's Rico runs where Fred got really mad at Jeffrey Doughton Jr. because he was fouling every single time they came down the court. It was something like where at some point he used to say, you just got to stop fouling. And Rico yelled at Jeff for fouling too much last year. So Scotty, it was kind of funny to see Scotty just push Jeffrey and foul him in light of that whole thing from last year where Jeffrey was accused of fouling every time. Down the court, and he literally did piss Fred VanVleet off. He really did in the Rico runs last year. So yeah, thanks Kareem for posting that. Yeah, y'all, if y'all want to join the Raptor Freak Facebook group, private group, you got to join as a member on here, and then you get access to special news events and postings by Raptor Freaks in that chat. Yeah, there you go. Kareem saying also, Trevor J, it's kind of weird to me that Pascal isn't there, but I'm not going to think too much about it. Yeah, you know, this has been brought up. he was there the whole other times. Like he was almost there, like sandwiched around when his actual team was there. I don't think that that was on purpose. I don't think that that had anything to do with anything, honestly. I think that had to do with his schedule with going to be with Red Bull and going over to Europe. I don't know exactly how the timing went, but Siakam just wasn't there the day the Raptors showed up. And I don't think that's a really big deal. We've seen Siakam been there. We know he's cool with everybody. And it's just that the timing wasn't right for him to be on that particular day with all of his teammates. People are going to read into it. People that want to make up bullshit and cause trouble for the Raptors will put this on blast. But it's nothing. It is absolutely nothing. Now, the Dame Lillard trade rumors are heating up once again, and there's serious talks with us related to it. I told y'all this is going to be a serious thing before the beginning of the season. The Raptors possibly getting Dame Lillard. Y'all can get mad at me and be like, shut up, Lex. We don't want to do that. But this is a very seriously realistic thing that could happen because the news is getting more and more like it sounds like it could. Oklahoma City Thunder also all of a sudden linked to a possible trade to get Dame Lillard. Listen, we're going to talk about this in depth tomorrow. Thursday Think Tank. Damian Lillard on the Raptors. How do you feel about it? And how would it work? We need to look at this because seriously, there's some serious smoke about this. And y'all need to brace yourselves just in case Masai Ujiri feels like pulling that trigger and getting a new hired gun named Lillard to come and wear the Raptors red. I've said before my opinions on this, and if you don't remember, well, tune in tomorrow and I'll talk about it again. So Damian Lillard on the Raptors Thursday Think Tank. I want to hear y'all's opinions on the possibility of that great trailblazer possibly suiting up for us. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Trevor's saying, as the morning, all right, these are his words of wisdom. As the morning sky broke throughout, what a beautiful day. So is your life. There you go. There you go. I love it. Yeah, just be grateful to have another day of life. Get out there, enjoy the sunshine, as Evelyn said, and be happy that another day has dawned and that you are still alive. How about that? Trevor J saying, I know Kareem. Yeah, the Pascal absence can be worrisome, but let's not read into it too much. Siakam is happy. Siakam is in Toronto dedicating a park with new equipment, new net, new backboard, new beautiful lines on the court so that the kids can have a better court to shoot on at Alexandra Park behind the big Dragon City Mall at Chinatown, Spadina, and Dundas. Yeah, you want to know where that court is? I can show you. Real ones around Toronto know where that court was that Siakam was at yesterday. Yeah, Jimmy Pope is here. Good to see the Pope of positivity, Jimmy. I'm so pumped for the season. I know why. You probably saw that Rico run. You're like, yeah. You remembered how fundamentally awesome big man Jakob Poeltl is. You remembered how Gary is such a sneaky, great player that's kind of like really good with pacing and scoring in different ways. I love Gary laying up shots, blocking shots, hitting threes, finding Scotty in different ways. And, you know, him and Scotty do play really well off each other. Gary and Scotty are best friends. And you can really tell they really enjoy playing on the court with each other. That lineup was deadly. In some ways, Malachi had some extra confidence running with that team. And it's got to be great for Grady to be out there with Scotty and seeing right up close just how dominant Mr. Barnes can be. You know, Grady, you're going to have fun playing for the Raptors this year. And the way that y'all looked out there, you look fantastic. Let's talk about Precious. Precious had some really good highlights in this one, too. He had one nasty transition dunk where he just threw it down the hammer. Woo! Threw it down. And Chris sneaking in there, doing up and unders and being sneaky, getting those rebounds. You know, lots of clips of Raptors in that Rico Hines runs. And there's different ones where they look good, different ones. Javon Freeman Liberty, that dunk putback. And he just looked really all over the court and just really active and doing stuff. Jeffrey Doughton Jr. had his bright spots. Ron Harper Jr. looked really good by the end of that clip, hitting threes and just getting on the boards and doing all kinds of different things Ron was doing in that clip. So there's a lot to like. And Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to Cool Cat. Always good to see Cool Cat. Happy you got into the Yahoo League. Kareem saying, bring Sergio home. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel bad for Sergio. He's going to get another job. Don't worry about him. He's still the Spanish national coach, and he will probably get another job. Who knows? Maybe Real Madrid will turn around and hire him. I don't know, but it's a mess for him. And in some ways, I feel bad that we may have been a factor in him losing his job right now. But also, I'll say this: the timing was really bad when we were interviewing him because he was getting ready for the playoffs with Virtuous, and they did not do well in the playoffs after he came and saw us. They lost, and they didn't win their championship. They ended up getting second. They were in the championship game, and they lost to Milan, and that is not good enough for the Italian league. If he had won that game, he wouldn't have gotten fired. So in some ways, it's not just because he talked to the Raptors. It's because he talked to the Raptors, and then he proceeded to lose the final of the Italian championship. So, man, it's tough. It's tough. And then they go and hire the Latvian coach like the same day they fired him. That's no respect. Seriously, you're supposed to fire somebody, let a day pass, and then hire someone at least one day, if not 2 days, if not 2 months, like we did. But the same day you fired Sergio in the morning and you hired the Latvian coach later that day, that's messed up. That's a message. And that's wrong. I wish Nameless was here. I need him to talk to me about Italian things right now. Like he could suss this all out for me. Tell me this whole mess with Virtuous Bologna and Sergio Scarliola. This is your emphasis of study, Nameless. Come on, my Italian teacher. Where are you? G saying Pascal has Red Bull obligations, and also Scotty commented on his post, and many of them are in Toronto, including Pascal. Let's not read into it too much. Yeah, this is what other people are going to do. Well, he's there every other one. Why isn't he at the one where his teammates are actually there? It's a logical, natural thing to do, but you're exactly right, G. And like you said, there was a clip of Pascal working out, and Scotty posted a comment saying elite. And, Pascal's in Toronto as of right yesterday with John Tavares. There's nothing going on that's weird with this. It's just timing. Like you said, it could have been Red Bull commitments. It could have been all kinds of different things and obligations that Siakam had to go take care of, and it just didn't line up. Maybe they could get everybody else to come at that time, but Siakam's like, I can't that week because I have to be in Austria with the Red Bull team. It could be as simple as that. So everybody want to read into it in bad ways, you go ahead. You're wasting your time because this team's very happy and they're doing good. That's right. Kareem saying, thanks, G. I was getting anxiety. Yeah. Yeah, no, let's set this record straight. Haters going to be like trying to pull it apart, but no, everything's fine. Everything is fine. Trevor J saying, so Drake's border house in Houston. What? Drake border house Houston? What? I don't understand that comment completely. Drake and Houston? What about it? G saying, no worries and don't stress. Pascal looks so happy, and Scotty commented elite under his post. That's right. These guys are pretty happy, smiley guys these days. They seem like they're very excited about the new Darko era. They're not afraid. They're ready to win. They feel like they're equipped. I think it was so weird to see Nick watching this team and wondering about what's going on in your head, nurse. Watching this team in front of you. It's like watching your ex-girlfriend dating a guy in front of you. Like just right after y'all broke up. It sucks. Trust me. I've been there. It sucks. So I know Nick kind of felt like that. I don't know. It's really weird. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings. Another day to experience life to the fullest. Let's be good stewards of what we are given. There you go, Randolph. That's a great words of wisdom. In life, you get your in life. Well, sometimes your hand's good. Sometimes your hand's not so good. Just make the best of it and what you get. That's right. And sometimes you can improve your hand because you played your last hand very well. And the next day you get dealt an even better hand. So remember that. You may not like the hand you're holding today, but if you play it right, you may be able to get a better hand the next day. That's something that people don't say sometimes with that one. Yeah, Fiercey saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. I won't resubscribe to Rico's channel, but will peek at the run. She's sick of it because she was waiting for that. But finally, we got it to come, and we got to see the Rico Hines Runs clips with the Raptors. I thought that they were doing something fishy to us. I was speculating. It's like, why aren't they showing the Raptors runs? Are they that salty, Rico and Nick, that they don't want to show us? Or is it the Raptors are saying, y'all can't show us because of the expectations and the things that people built because of the Rico runs last year about last year's season? I could see it either way, but no, we got that clip finally, even if it was hidden. And, they don't outright say this is the Raptors Rico Hines runs, but it is. That clip is basically the Raptors Rico Hines runs. It is. You can just put it on there. Cool Cat saying Raptors should hire him as an assistant coach, talking about Sergio. It's one of those been down that road, done it before kind of things. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I would be okay with it. But I don't know if Sergio's wanting to do that. That really is, in a lot of ways, demotion from where he is with his life. In some ways, he's, he may be good friends with Darko, and it may work really well. And Darko would invite him to be on his staff. But remember, we said Darko wanted to start with clean slate with his coaching staff. And Jim Sand was the only person carried over from the coaching staff from last year. I don't know. I don't know if this would work out. In some ways, maybe Sergio's a little bit mad at us because partly we were part of the reason why he lost his job. Why would he come work for us? I don't know. In some ways, it's too late. The season's already about to start. And I mean, I guess they could scramble and do this. It's a weird exercise, I thought, a Cool Cat. But I don't think it's realistic. Kareem saying Pascal is a Torontonian. His actions speak volumes. That's right. This man is more bonded to this city than any other city in North America. That's just the damn truth. And the dude's a big time player in the NBA. He seriously is. They don't give him a shine. I see these things on Twitter and different places. They say, who's the most underrated player in the league? I say it's Siakam, because they really don't give him the due that he deserves for the level that he's at. In some ways, they begrudgingly give it to him when they have to, when he comes and shows up at the All-Star game or he's on an All-NBA team. But otherwise, they want to disregard him and ignore him when they really shouldn't, because he really is a top 15 player in this league. They just don't like putting that on blast. They just really don't. Fiercely saying Pascal is awesome. He loves the city and wants to stay. It's heartwarming. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand his bond with that court in particular. I mean, I don't have as strong a bond with that court as he does. In some ways, I'm like, wow. And it's great. I mean, I know people that grew up in that neighborhood. I know kids that were in that neighborhood because I worked at the convenience store in that neighborhood. And I saw the different people of that community come through and buy stuff from the store for me, cigarettes, lottery tickets, pops, and food items, all kinds of different stuff I used to sell there. So I knew a lot of those kids. And in fact, speaking of that, I'm going to premiere the first episode of the Kensington Variety VIP Club today in the Raptor Freak Facebook group. I'll post it in a little while. Y'all, please watch it. It's from 5 years ago today, the championship year, me working in the convenience store at Kensington, and some of the kids that play at that court that Siakam was at yesterday appear on my show. There's neighborhood kids from that area. So it's a really fun little slice of life, 5-year time capsule of the championship year and what was happening with me at my job and talking about the Raptors and what was going on with them. So the first episode drops today from 9/20 2018. We'll go in the time machine and go 5 years back, and we'll follow the whole year. And I'll drop those clips in the Facebook group and also re-release them on my YouTube channel. So yeah, you will get to see these clips and, watch them. They're real short. They're under 5 minutes. Most of them are under 10 minutes, and they're silly and they're kind of goofy. A lot of them is just playing convenience store games and game shows. But some of it's really fun, and you'll get to know it over time if you watch it and stick with it. But it encapsulates the whole championship run of that season, me reacting and talking about it from the convenience store. So yeah, please check it out. I'll post it later. And hopefully, the first one's kind of rough, but I get better over time, and there's more production value to it as it goes. The first one's a little rough because it was the first time I ever filmed a show like that live in a convenience store while I was working. And my bosses let me do that. So it's pretty fun. All right, let's see. G saying Jakob and Scotty look massive. Precious too. I like the chemistry I was seeing between Jakob and the guys on that team. Jakob and Scotty, chemistry. Jakob was there cleaning up the boards and putting stuff back. Jakob was muscling through and finishing near the hoop in really tough situations. I saw Grady finish a 2-on-1 disadvantage break, where he was the only guy going forward. And he had two guys to beat, and he beat them and got the layup. There's a couple of different little clips in that long half-hour clip that are very impressive. There's different things the Raptors were doing in different places. So I was like, that's good. That's good. That looks good. And that's part of the reason why all of our anticipation and excitement for this new season has just gone to a new level because of this Rico runs and seeing Scotty and the possibilities for this year. Oh, yeah. People start believing me now when I say Scotty can take a leap and it will change the Raptors' fortunes immensely. Immensely. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Monique is saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Scotty hardly missed a shot. Yeah, I know they edit them to show like the most important parts, but he was pretty deadly. You know, that first game that they played, he made like the first 4 baskets, and he did them in an assortment of ways. I didn't totally like the step back 3 because that's not fundamentally a good shot. And maybe in the NBA games, he shouldn't take that too much, but he showed that right away. He did that little step in, step out 3-point shot over it, and he nailed it. There was a couple things he did. He had that go-go gadget layup with his arm where he went to his right and he like laid his arm out like straight. And then he did a really weird English bounce off the backboard and the rim into the basket. It really looked weird, but he got around the defender that way. And that looked really cool. That was a weird layup. It was kind of like he was half-assing it, but then he tried really hard with it, and then he made it. And it was all off the spin off his hands, the way it hit the backboard and then went in. Really, really cool stuff by Scotty. Kareem saying, today is the last day of the Rico runs. I wonder if the Raptors are staying for another run. I don't know. I don't even know if these are in the right order. I feel like this was an earlier run and that they didn't they left this one to come out later. Like some people have said, they left the best for last. And that may be right. I don't know if these are actually in order. Maybe they are. I guess they are because he does say this is the last week and there's one more day. So you're right, Kareem. So I don't know if they show back up for the last day. It could very well be the Raptors only came for one day because I don't know. I have no idea. Cool Cat saying, I love the Rico Raptors connection is maintained. It was a full house on video with 2 exceptions, OG and Pascal, it seems. Yeah, there were a few people that were missing. Obviously, Dennis is busy and not back in the North America yet. You know, there were a few, like those are the glaring ones. Jalen McDaniels would have been nice to see there. Some people were saying Otto Porter, but yeah, come on. Thad Young, come on. OG really kind of inconspicuous with his absence. And then Pascal, that's pretty glaring because Siakam was there the whole other time, except for the one time when his teammates were there. Trevor J saying, I love Isaiah Thomas' speech to all the guys. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see Isaiah Thomas in this clip. And in particular, you catch Marquise Noel really hawking his game and watching him from the sideline in one part of it. You see it right there. It's just blatant. You know, Isaiah Thomas is an interesting player. You know, the Boston Celtics did him wrong. In some ways, you know, that was really messed up how they treated him. And his career has been tough, being out of the league for so long. It'd be crazy if he finally re-entered the league again. Some people really want him to. Jamal Crawford petitioning for him to be back in the league through Twitter, saying, wouldn't IT be a great backup guard leader for your team chemistry off the bench for your team? The teams, y'all need to go pick him up because he could be very helpful to young guards trying to learn the game coming up. Yeah, I love this speech. He was exactly on point, and he said it so eloquently that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a 30-point scorer or a guy who never ever plays. If you come in and do the work hard every single day, good things will happen to you. That is basically what he said, and he's exactly right. Yeah, Trevor J. I enjoyed seeing Isaiah Thomas there for sure. Monique saying, thank you, Rico. Finally, Rico. Oh my gosh. Yeah, seeing Nick Nurse and John Carbascio joking around on the sideline with some of the other Sixers coaches. It's just weird seeing him there watching. Yeah, we've had like a weird, like Joel Embiid showing up to one of the Rico clips. You know, we got that Sixers versus Raptors matchup on the Rico Hines runs. And I'm telling you, we were 2-1. I kept track. There was one game they beat us. And then there were like 2 we beat them. And that was Scotty and Grady's team. Yeah, very, very good team. Let's see. Let's see. MSJ's here. It looks like Flynn is a player for us. Really not a fan, but who knows? It's weird because Flynn, he had some nice shots and he looked pretty good out there. He didn't look as good as Grady or Gary, but he was an important part of that team and part of the reason why they were dominating. They really were dominating. That team with Scotty and Jakob was dominating the Rico runs in that clip. They were in the winner's court the most of that clip. Most of that clip. Listen, if Malachi can be turned into something salvaged at this point in his career, Darko will do it. And if not, well, it's time to move on. So we'll see what happens, Chris. Kareem saying Isaiah Thomas had an amazing speech at the end of the session. Very inspiring. Yeah, one of the better ones by different people. Some people don't want to talk, like Looney or Norman Powell. They're kind of like, okay, yeah, well, I'll just say something. But Isaiah Thomas, he jumped at that chance. He was well spoken, eloquent, very great delivery. Yeah, amazing speech. One of the best Rico Hines speeches we've seen in a long time, for sure. Stargate saying, "Thanks, Coach Pop." Thanks, Coach Pop. Dana saying, "Good morning, everybody," from Canadian Dana. Good to see Dana here. Monique saying, "Ron looked too good." Yeah, Ron was he was like, once again, he's a kit and caboodle guy. He does everything. He can shoot threes. He can rebound. He can block shots. He's pretty good. He can make assists. He's got a lot of different things to his game. I like the little between him and Scotty. There's a little bit of a ba. And in some ways, Scotty is trying to push these guys down. But if they have any fire in them, that should raise their competitive spirit. And it looked like it did with Ron. Before the end of that Rico clip, Ron was taking Scott to school at the basket. There was one in particular where he took it right at him and he made the shot over Scotty's defense. So I like that. I like seeing that competitive spirit in Ron, even though Scotty's being very dominant and trying to be the alpha dog. Well, Ron Harper Jr. was showing fight in the way he was playing also. And I love seeing that. G saying Grady seems very humble. See, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, I really like what Grady did because he understands his place right now. He's not an arrogant rookie coming in trying to have everything come to him all at once. He understands. He's got to learn it little by little, and it'll serve him better or in the long term instead of trying to come out and take too much too soon. And the things that I think are going to get him playing time for the Raptors in regular games are his hustle and his team play, as far as coordinating with different people, whether it's on defense, being that guy who fills in those gaps, who's very aware, working with different people, looking around. So that's one of the things I saw in that little clip with him working with Jakob, was that they were very aware of where they were spacing and helping to guard with each other. And that's really good. So Grady's very aware of team defense. He's going to have to be, because in some ways he can be beaten one-on-one by supreme talent. So he is definitely going to need to be working team defensively wise with his teammates very soundly. And he was showing that. Now, the other thing that's going to get him playing time, and this is the thing that everybody's going to love him for, is this hustle. That man is running all over the court trying to collect rebounds and loose balls, because he knew in some ways that is the winning thing that he could do to add to a team with Scotty Barnes running it and Jakob Poeltl holding the down low and all that stuff. So Grady was the hustle man, out there hustling all over the place and contributing in a very sound way that way. You can see him all over the place. That's going to make Raptor fans love him. Seeing him hit the ground for loose balls, getting those offensive rebounds, or getting, that kind of stuff is going to be really good. Monique saying defense at the other level, Grady and Scotty. The Raptors were showing some pretty sound defense in this Rico Hines runs. A lot of times when you watch the Rico runs, it's not a lot of defense. It's a lot of offense. Well, Scotty at one point decided, I'm sick of this. I don't want the Sixers to beat me. And that's when him and Gary got real serious, if you notice. And Scotty started putting them on his back and playing bully ball and he got a couple baskets. But then Malachi put his hand in Melton's face and Melton killed that game and won it. That's what I'm saying. At that point, you saw them turn it on where there's like, yeah, no more scoring for them. We're going to try and score and we're going to try and win this. So it's pretty cool to see in the informal setting of the Rico Hines runs, Scotty and his team turning on the defense to try and win the game when they were down 6-4. And Scotty made 2 straight baskets real quick, but that wasn't enough. They got to 6 tied it, and then Melton hit that shot with Malachi's hand in his face. That was awesome. That was awesome because it was a switch. It was a switch. It was like there's like, all right, we're gonna be serious now. We don't want Philadelphia to win this little run. We're gonna try and shut them down now and score ourselves. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that. Mo's saying also, I'll say it again. We are fucking ready. Mo's ready. It sounds like Mo's very much ready. We did not need the countdown this year so much because the countdown has been coming. It looks like David Saborn has gifted a subscription, a membership to this channel. So somebody get that. NBA Quick Takes is here. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Yes, good to see NBA Quick Takes as he makes his way through the NBA with his win prediction series on his channel. Definitely go check it out. He's done Dallas and Atlanta, Brooklyn. He's doing all the teams and talking about what you should expect for them to get with wins. So give a follow and a subscribe to NBA Quick Takes. It's covering all the teams and with a special emphasis on the Raptors. That's right. Thank you, Quick Takes. Let's see. Top of Top's here. Let's see what Top of Top's saying. No. It jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get back and get all the comments. Love to see everybody filling up the net today. I don't put much stock into Rico Runs. However, Scotty's turnaround jumper looked impressive, and the distance he does it from was extended. The blocks were amazing. I don't like the dunk stare downs. Yeah, I don't like those either, Top of Top. They're cheesy, and they're going to get him burned at some point. So far, he's been okay with them. But at some point, he's going to embarrass somebody, and it's not going to be the right kind of thing. It's not going to look good. Yeah, I noticed his range is a little further out also, and those blocks were insane. He got Javon Freeman Liberty pretty bad with one of them. A couple of other players, too, on there. Yeah, Scotty was like daring people to come down there, and he was just like, wow. It looked kind of like you with your little cousins on the little kinder care dunk. Like they're trying to dunk on you, and you're just the monster Mutombo, and you're just like, no, bam. It kind of looked like that. Like he was playing with little kids, the way he blocked their shots. It did look a little bit like that. I don't put, I understand not putting much stock in the Rico Runs. I get it. But in some ways, it's a showcase to show you exactly what you described. A little bit more range, maybe some new skills and things like that. So, yeah, Scotty is by far looked real good in this. In fact, I don't know if we looked at all the Rico Runs clips for the summer. I think that Scotty's performance in his latest one may be the most dominant of the whole entire series for this summer of 2023. Seriously, you could have all these great players that came through already, seen them on the clips, including Siakam. And I would say Scotty was probably the most dominant player at Rico Hines Runs so far in the clips I've seen this year. Top of Top saying, I just hope next season Scotty has improved his conditioning and gives condition effort every game. That's a skill to me because not everyone does it every game. Yeah. One of the things he posted recently that I talk about is that he's working in silence, work in silence and progress, and work in peace, progress in silence is like a mantra he's had this summer. In some ways, we got to think about last year with him and Twitch and us, and him being on blast with everything he was doing, as far as like I'm eating Chick-fil-A with my dog Cardi as I play Friday the 13th on a 9 p.m. on a summer night in 2022. Well, this year he went underground and didn't do any Twitch, wasn't really on blast, and he was really working hard. At the end of the season, he said, I got to work on my conditioning. That's specifically what he said he wanted to work on. He said, if I want to be as good as I want to be on defense, I have to have better wind. And I think that was very much a focus for him this summer. And, hopefully we'll see it. His whole mantra was work in silence, progress, or something like that. Work in peace, progress in silence. So he's saying he cut the noise out this summer, and he's made progress on his game away from staring eyes. And he may be ready to show it to us, partly through Rico Hines Runs. Yeah, I agree with this. Like if he has more conditioning, he can play more all out on defense in ways that will make the Raptors even more dominant. So, yeah, I love it, Top of Top. I love it so much. I'm pretty sure that's what Scott did this summer. We don't know because we didn't see him on Twitch. That was because instead of being on Twitch, he was working on stuff, and that's good. MSJ saying Lillard's stuff's heating up. OG and Trent seems crazy to still be talking about this. Well, the Lillard thing's not going to go away until he moves, and he will move at some point. It may not be in time for the season, but yeah, there's going to be some trades this season. I have a feeling. whether it's James Harden or Damian Lillard, stuff will happen at some point. And there are some crazy trade rumors for with us involved in it. I don't like some how much they're saying we should have to give them. I don't think that that's how much we'd have to give them. Pat Riley's at this point saying, "This is what you're getting, Trailblazers. If you want us to take Dame Lillard, and this is what you're getting." They don't like what he's offering. He's just say, "So be it. See if you can get something else somewhere better." Well, the Trailblazers are trying to see if they get something else somewhere better, and it may be with Toronto. It may be with Oklahoma City. I don't know who it's going to be with at this point, but we are in the running, and we are a serious candidate in the Damian Lillard sweepstakes. And I'll tell you right now, if he came to Toronto, he'd probably win a championship in the next couple of years. Seriously, we've got the right team around him. Even if we trade a couple of our guys the other way, we will win a championship in the next 2 years. We get Damian Lillard. I'm serious. That man is so determined. And you got to understand the type of level of superstar and guy that wills the game in certain ways. The only thing he's missed in Portland his whole career to not be able to win is just having a good competitive team around him at any given time. If he has good defenders, people that will have his back, he can take care of the offense and the clutch stuff really, really well. So I'm telling you, I am not. I already gave away for tomorrow. I'm not against us trading for Lillard because I know we're going to win another championship if we do. I'm going to say that right now. It'll be like a Kawhi Leonard version 2. If he comes here, we're going to win our second championship when he comes here. Watch. So I'm not against this deal. Seriously. All right, let's keep going. Mo's saying Nick Nurse is definitely looking sad at Rico Runs. Love it. I don't want to be as happy about his misery. I don't know if he looks sad. He's kind of sitting there kind of like this. He's kind of like watching them. And at some point, I felt like Scotty and Gary were making shots in his face. And what about the whole shirt that Gary was wearing in relation to Nick Nurse? Rest in peace, Undertaker. Is he wearing that shirt for Nick, knowing that he's sitting over there with the Undertaker's crazy eyes looking at him saying, "Rest in peace, Nick Nurse," because you're not the coach of the Raptors anymore? That was a really weird statement. Like in some ways, there's been little like side little things like Chris Boucher with the picture of him with Nick on his Instagram stories the other day. Gary's shirt with the Undertaker on it. Scotty doing certain things on the court with Nick nearby also. I'm wondering if they were trying to show up their coach or at least be like, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, we're moving on. I don't know. There was some weird energy around that for sure. I think Gary's shirt says a lot. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying Dame Lillard automatically put us in contentions for a chip. Yes. 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 He is a superstar. He is like a Steph Curry. He is somebody who can take over the game and absolutely hit huge shots. If we need 3 points and there's a couple seconds on the clock and we win, he will hit that shot and win the game for us. He has a proven track record. And when he's gotten chances in big games, he will make big shots and he will do things that we've never had as a shooter on our team before. He would be absolutely the best shooting superstar we'd ever had in the history of the Raptors if we got him on our team. If we did, yeah. I don't care how old he is. He hasn't had a drop off yet. And part of it is that his style of play fits for him to be able to play well when he's older too. The other thing is, it's not like Kawhi where it's a 1-year rental and then he's gone. He actually has a few years on his contract. So we could get a couple shots at trying to win a championship with him while he's on this contract now. So that's what I'm saying. There's some things about it that are really good. Nako's saying, I love Gary's shirt at the runs. I need Scotty celebrating every game. Celebrating? What do you mean? Doing that look? I don't want him doing that look. He can do celebrations like this and after the fact, but I don't want him celebrating in the middle of regulation when the whistles are in the middle of not. Like play. He's like, that whistle's dead. The play's dead, then celebrate. But don't do it in the middle of the game where you can get in trouble. Yeah. Stargate saying Toronto is not an Adidas town. No way Adidas allows him to Toronto. Toronto could become an Adidas untapped market to explore. Well, I'll say this right now. Well, who was at the Adidas store on Front Street on Sunday afternoon from noon to 1:30? Well, Grady Dick, Adidas client. There is Adidas here in the city. And if Adidas is going to hold them up, well, maybe they could look at it this way. Toronto and Canada could be a new market for us to sell more Adidas. Let's send Damian Lillard to the north of the border. and maybe we'll get our numbers up in Canada on selling Adidas shoes. So yeah, I don't buy this. You want to say Toronto's not an Adidas town? Well, why was Grady Dick at the Adidas store on Saturday? And he is an Adidas man himself. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, we can't go there. That's right. Cool Cat's saying Toronto could become an Adidas untapped market. That's right. There you go. Exactly what Cool Cat's saying. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex, and the Raptor Freaks. Bam. Good to see you, Cowboy. Grady would have made more shots if he wasn't playing with Scotty and the team. Everyone played well. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah. Yeah. He knows his pecking order. In some ways, he's the bottom guy. He's got to learn, and he'll get his chance to come up and get his spots to shine. It's just he got to all good things in the right order and the right time. And people that want things too fast for young Raptors, whether it's Scotty or Grady, temper your expectations and let them happen naturally. Scotty is looking like things are happening very naturally in a good way, starting up for his third season. So yeah, all good things in good time. Do not rush things, is what I'm saying. Blackhawks here. Good to see Blackhawk. Just so you know, you're in the Trevor J Challenge, and you got the Atlanta Hawks. Dame trade would gut this team, and our bench hasn't proven itself. The timing is wrong. I don't know. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. This is definitely going to be the subject tomorrow. I mean, I could see what you're saying as far as that. But then again, we made the trade with DeMar for Kawhi. And did that gut our team? No, it didn't. So I don't know if it will gut our team. Some of the deals I've seen are really like crazy. Masai won't get them for that deal. He'll make it a little bit less. That's like the pie in the sky deal. The one with like 3 Raptors and trade picks and swaps and stuff like that. No. Masai and Bobby will get it down to the right thing. In some ways, the market has to show the Portland Trailblazers what Lillard is worth. Miami set their offer and said, this is the best we're going to do for you. And they're like, ugh. They want to go see what other people are saying. Well, Masai's offer is a little bit better than Miami's, but not exactly every single thing that they want. Well, it could be a little better. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it is and see if it even happens at all. This is the kind of speculation I don't mind getting into because I really do feel like there's a strong possibility this could possibly happen. I don't think that there's the hot air about this. It's serious. The Raptors could seriously try and trade for Lillard. Kareem saying, I agree, Blackhawk. Dame demands 20-plus shots and will just dismantle this team's makeup. I don't know about that. He's been a good teammate to different people over the years. Him and CJ McCollum did a really good job of working together. Your use of Nurkic. He's a good team player. Don't get it twisted. He's going to be selfish. In some ways, at this point in his career where he's older, he wants to rely more on his teammates. And in some ways, he has an underrated aspect to him of his passing. People don't talk enough about him being a point guard to a degree, that he does actually get assists. And I wouldn't say that he's a selfish player. He's a very good shooter and he's a good player, but I would never label Damian Lillard as a selfish player. He's not a ball hawk. He takes the shots that are good for him, and he's also a very excellent decoy to get other people more space to be able to make easier shots. So I don't know. We'll definitely go over this more tomorrow. Monique saying, love the new series Raptors have, Day in the Life on Instagram. Yeah, that's the thing that was with Pascal. I don't know if that's going to be a series. Maybe we'll see more of them, but they just did one quick thing yesterday with him at Alexandra Park. And yeah, pretty cool. That's my old hoop that I used to go shoot on all the time that he went and fixed up yesterday. It's crazy. So weird to see Siakam at my old court that I used to love to go to. Fiercely saying, WNBA news, Dallas Wings and NBA Liberty advance to the playoff semifinals. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. WNBA playoffs continuing. Las Vegas Aces, Dallas Wings, New York Liberty, some teams trying to get to that quarterfinals and then get to the championship. Yeah, we're going to keep watching and seeing what's going on with that WNBA. Top saying, I was against the Dame trade, but now I'm conflicted because of our lack of high picks limits our ability to draft stars. I did like our pick, but I think you should seek star prospects with a lottery pick. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, we're going to figure this out one way or another. I'm not smart enough to understand the inner workings like Bobby and Masai, and they're not going to put us in a bad position and sell us out just to get Dame Lillard. That's the thing we got to remember once again. Trust in Masai. That year, 5 years ago, where he got DeMar shipped for Kawhi. We were like, what the? Well, we needed to trust him because it ended up being a championship. Thank you, David, for the super chat. Holy crap, David. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Now, David, you need to make sure you get your fantasy team in there. I believe it's under your brother's email. So go and look under your brother's email. I have an invite for you guys to be running that Yahoo team. We need you to come back and be competitive in this league, David. We want you playing in the Yahoo Fantasy League with us. So get your team in there. We need you in there, bro. Come on now. Let's see. Trevor J saying you can't blame Raptors for that. He just had to do his one job. Darko's Blackhawk saying Darko hasn't put his stamp on the team yet. Not a good situation for bringing in Dame. We need to see what Darko can do. I mean, I won't disagree with this, Neil. I really won't. I mean, in some ways, I want to see this happen. Some people are saying that the Lillard trade may not happen until like mid-season. That it could be this. The Raptors start the season, and if things aren't going too well, then Masai's like, you know what? Let's go revisit this talk with Portland real quick. If things start real nice and we're playing really, really well and they don't want to mess with it, then maybe they don't go near trying to look at it during the season. I don't know. We're going to have to see. I think you're right to a degree. The Darko needs to try and do things with this team right now. But let's not get it twisted. Rajakovic will not be upset if he gets Dame Lillard on his team all of a sudden. He will not be upset about that. MSJ saying you have to think now that Fred VanVleet is gone. The rest of the team has to be excited for a new coach too. A coach who hopefully runs a more complete offense, one that players embrace. I look forward to it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I think the players are just as excited as the fans are in some ways. The Darko era is going to be interesting. And I'm all about winning and success. So let's see how much we get. Blackhawk saying I'm definitely interested to see what Darko will do. Yeah, a different take with this roster and these really talented players like Scotty and Precious, OG, Pascal. It'll be very fun to see the kind of lineups and maybe like the sets, the offensive sets he wants to try and run with these guys. I hope they're very, very, very contrasting to what we were seeing with Nick in recent years because we want to see a difference. We want to see an improvement in our coaching. We want to see an improvement in our offense and our scoring. That has to happen. That just has to. Blackhawks saying we have a smaller coaching staff so we can make room for one more. I guess that's true. We do have a smaller coaching staff. Nick's notorious for having a way huge coaching staff. He's like 17 coaches at Philadelphia right now. That's what I'm telling you. He's lazy. He don't like doing the job. He gets so many coaches to do all the jobs for him. He just likes being an executive figurehead head coach. In some ways, he sets the direction. He's a leader in that kind of way. But a lot of that busy work, it falls on Nate Bjorngren's shoulders and the other coaches. And then the players, a lot of it falls on them too. I'm telling y'all, in some ways, Nick is a shim man. And in some of what he did was really on the backs of other people, and he got the credit and the glory. So, yeah, we've talked about him and Kyle Lowry. All right, let's keep going. Randolph saying, Lex, I don't see the point of us trading for Dame and trading away Siakam when Dame wanted to play with Siakam, who would then make us very competitive. Well, that's the thing. We're not trading Siakam to get Lillard. We keep Siakam, we keep Barnes. We have those three guys to build around. And it's more like OG and Gary go to Portland. That'd be messed up to send Gary back to Portland in some ways. It would be kind of messed up. I wouldn't be totally happy with that. But it would be some sort of package around OG and Anunoby, honestly. He would be the main player that would be going to Portland. He's the one they want. So in some ways, other than Scotty, they really want Scotty too, but we're not going to trade Scotty. We could trade OG and like a couple guys, like they're saying Chris Boucher and Thad Young and like Malachi Flynn or something like that. And that would make up the difference. And that would be enough to get Lillard. So it'd be like four players. In some ways, you look at that foursome and you'd be like, does that really gut our bench? I mean, think about it. We're pretty stocked. We got Jalen McDaniels now. Otto Porter comes back. We could have a way better bench even with making this deal. I could argue that. Let's see. Trevor's saying Drake pictures a house in Houston. What? He has a house in Houston? Okay. Nako's saying, I want the coaching staff noticeably different. No Sergio. See, he doesn't want any Sergio because he's from before. Well, he's been gone for a bit. I think Sergio's coming back here is not going to happen. If he came back here, it'd be as a head coach, not as an assistant coach. He's already done this. Once again, people don't like going in the past and doing things they've already done. He came to the Raptors and won a championship as an assistant coach. In some ways, he's not going to do that again. Blackhawks saying right on to Randolph. And Quick Take saying at Blackhawk up early, eh? It's good to see Neil. Neil's one of our guys. He was at the meet and greet. And like I said, you're in the Trevor J challenge. If the Atlanta Hawks win the in-season tournament, you get a prize, Blackhawk. I gave everybody a random team. Your name is Blackhawk, so I give you the Hawks. That's why. It's so dumb. NBA Quick Takes got the New York Knicks. Each person got a team that's regular on this channel, and you just happen to get the Hawks. Mo's got Denver. Mo's saying Precious is definitely bulked up big time. Big time. Yeah, I love to see the dominance of Precious and Chris Boucher around the basket as the center power forward for that B team of the Raptors at the Rico Runs. And those guys were really holding it down there. Precious is interesting. At a couple points, he looked like a point guard out there. It's very much Scott was playing point guard on his team. It wasn't Malachi. It wasn't Gary. It was Scotty playing point guard, and he was playing like a point guard. Well, Precious had a couple of reps where he was bringing the ball up the court looking like a point guard also. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty interesting to see. Precious being at Rico Hines Runs is underrated in some ways. He did not go last year, and him being there this year really made me happy. Like when I saw Jakob and Precious there yesterday, I was like, holy crap, these guys did make it. Because I had no idea that they'd gone to Rico Hines Runs. And seeing them there was awesome. Top saying, I do the Dame trade, but we would have to keep shooting around him and Pascal. In a couple of years, I still think Dame and Pascal's value are still high in case of trade. I'd rather do a move with Atlanta, though. See, I don't like Atlanta's stuff at all. I really, really don't. Portland has way better players over there. Like Simons, I like Simons too. But if we're going to deal with Portland, it'll be Lillard because that's the problem they have. And that's who they want to get rid of. They don't want to deal Anthony Simons. So, yeah, it really kind of what the seller's selling and what we want to buy. It sometimes don't line up. Atlanta has nothing that we want. Seriously, Okongwu is the only one that I like on that team. The rest of those guys are garbage in a lot of ways. Seriously. David's saying, we don't want Dame. If we were in trade talks with Portland, it's for Scoot Henderson. Dame is old. Yeah, but this is what we did. We get a little bit older. We look a little bit more vet. We win a championship. And in some ways, I'm all about winning championships, David. And Scoot Henderson is not going to get us a championship. I'll bet you money right now. I don't believe in Scoot Henderson, first of all. I think he's so overhyped right now. I think he's a physical stud, but I don't think he's going to translate to good fundamental basketball that's going to win games. So I'll pass on him. You can say Dame's old, but he's not really. And he hasn't shown a drop off yet. He's going to show up this year for whoever he plays for, and he's going to be still who he is. And he's going to be badass. Cool Cat saying our team has not realized that Pascal is also getting the superstar treatment on the team, just like how Kyle and Kawhi in a different tier with their own schedule. I mean, fans for our team. You mean that the fans do not understand that Siakam's on a superstar tier? See, I hate that. I don't like that. He can be on it. That's fine. And if he separates himself like that, that's no good. I don't like that in some ways. Because this is the thing. Kyle and DeMar, when they were those guys on our team, they didn't separate themselves. They did everything with the team no matter what. They still are this way to this day on their respective teams now. They could be all-stars. They could be U.S. Olympians. They could be champions. They could be the franchise players, but they always rode the bus with everybody. They always came to the practices. They never exempted themselves. They never stratified themselves above the rest of the team. I don't like our superstars doing that. So Siakam's doing that, even if he's doing it not like knowing he's doing it, or if he's doing it on purpose. I don't like that. I do not like that. That's not the way that Siakam was taught by DeRozan and Lowry. That you do everything with your team and don't stratify yourself. Seriously, we don't need a LeBron James kind of situation on our team where LeBron is above and beyond, away from everybody, and in some ways disconnected from his teammates because he's not in there with them on the day-to-day, all that stuff. So, yeah, Siakam, don't do this. It's a bad idea. It's bad for team chemistry. And in some ways, you're going to miss out on fun anyway. You want to be on that bus. You want to be with your teammates. Be with them as much as possible. It's important. And Scotty, same advice. Don't grow up and get so good that you have to put yourself in another category like LeBron. It's a volley, and it will cause your team have a harder time to win championships. Understand that Kyle and DeMar knew this. And this is part of the reason why Kyle didn't like Kawhi in the 1 year that he played for us. That's why he cussed him out and got mad at him around Christmas. He's like, you're not coming to this stuff and being with us. We're a team. and you need to be here with us. DeMar was here for everything. Why are you not here? See, that's why I don't want that stratification. If Siakam's doing that in different ways, if the team's pushing it, saying you don't have to, you're the superstar. Okay, but he shouldn't like that. He should want to be with his team at all opportunities. Yeah, Stargate saying if the Raptors have to give up either OG, Pascal, or Scotty for a Dame Lillard, then no. In my honest opinion, I don't see Dame making the Raptors a contender if OG, Pascal, or Scotty are not with them. See, I got to disagree. We got to understand who we're talking about. A top 75 player, a guy who really has languished. In some ways, Dame Lillard is hungrier than anybody else in this entire league to win a championship. He really is. The clock is ticking. He's heard a lot of bullshit the whole time he's been in Portland. He feels like he's wasted time. This man is very much on a mission. And don't ever go against somebody who's that determined with those kind of skills and that kind of assassin level shooting. This guy is very determined. Just let me make that part of this sell on this. He has a lot to prove, just like Kawhi did when he came to Toronto. So don't underestimate that kind of energy. This is what I'm going to say right there. Top of Top saying fines for players resting has been a big issue. I love having 82 games as I really enjoy the regular season and want to see stars play. The solution, start the season in September to avoid back-to-backs. I don't mind that. It seems like this is a weird period of time where we're kind of in between land anyway. I mean, they do want to allow people that went to World Cup to have a bit of a vacation, I guess. You know, they got to figure a whole bunch of different things in with when they start, because in some ways, if they start too soon, they're going to start right at the same time as the NHL. And then you got to think about buildings and balancing hockey with basketball and facilities. There's a lot to the logic puzzle. I agree. This seems like this would be a good solution for helping with minimizing back-to-backs by starting the season even earlier. And they have done these kind of things to try and manipulate and make these things happen. You know, this season, honestly, looking at our schedule, the back-to-backs are not as nasty as they were last year or the year before. Some of them are interesting. We have a few of them, but for the most part, they're doable. They're not really nasty ones like some of the ones we had last year. Telling you. So let's see how this year goes. They have been tinkering with the schedule, and of course, with the in-season tournament and the things that come from that, you know, they stretched it out. They're actually starting the season a little bit earlier than they normally do already. But I'm not okay with them starting in September. Seriously, they want to start preseason next Monday. That would work with me to start everything and void those. I think it's a good idea. Let's see if they could do it. Stargate's going to saying Black Blazers going to want something back. Yeah, OG, and maybe Chris Boucher, Malachi Flynn. Malachi's from that area. They'd be really happy to have Malachi on their team, I'm sure, for hometown ties kind of things. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll speculate on it more tomorrow. Cool Cat saying Pascal with his status has flexibility built in schedule to allow for his own obligations like training and sponsor stuff. You know, this doesn't matter as much right now. But if it's in the season and he's getting superstar treatment away from the players, that will cause like what's the word? Resentments. That could cause resentments if Siakam's kind of off doing his own thing, getting special treatment from the franchise. That's why I don't agree with it. I really do not agree with him. Because in some ways, you want the players to be all for one and one for all, and that the 15th man should be just as important as your franchise player in some ways that matter for having a healthy team chemistry. And I don't want him doing this. Now, if the off season, him not being there, Rico Hines runs, that's fine. But in the regular season, he better be there doing everything that the other players are doing. And he's like that. It's not like he skips practice. So if there's team meetings and stuff like that, I want him to be there. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good to see Shaq Lindsay, who loves the Raptors. Love Raptors. Yeah. Scotty is looking dominant. Scotty and Pascal on the block and put shooters around them. I was wrong about Flynn yesterday. He needs to go. So he's like talking up Flynn the day before, and then he sees a Rico Hines run, and he's like, nah, he needs to go. Shaq Lindsay, that's hilarious. Just for your indecision on Malachi Flynn right now, I'm going to give you a dunk. I don't know if you've ever gotten a dunk, Shaq Lindsay, but that is funny. You made me laugh because you're like, now that I've seen him, he's got to go. Hilarious, hilarious stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that completely. I want to see more of Malachi. We got to see him in training camp. We got to see him in preseason, and then we'll see. He may be part of the factors in deciding things. We'll have to see. Cowboys saying no to Lillard. The Raptors are just fine. See, there's contingencies of different people. I know Monique and Bradley very much are like hard pass. No, we don't want Lillard coming here. And then some people like me are kind of like open to it and very intrigued by it. Cool Cat saying OG is another star player on our team that has flexibility for certain teams gatherings. Yeah, he's, I get this. In the offseason, this is fine. This is their own time. But during the season, they need to be with the team. And I don't like giving these guys special status. In fact, that's part of what's wrong with the NBA is stratifying classes of players. These golden boys, these top guys, they get arrogant. They treat their teammates like shit. I don't like seeing that. The best teams in the world had respect for every single member. The bad boys liked Scott Hastings and John Long and Michael Williams and Fennis Dembo because they were on the team and they were part of them doing what they needed to do in practice. They weren't the best players. They were the guys that hardly ever played, but they were still an important value part of the team to a degree. And that's what I don't want to lose at any point in this. The stratification of any kind of point where, oh, I'm better than you, so I don't have to listen to you, that kind of stuff. I don't like that stuff. Scotty is a monster. Watch out, NBA. Yeah, Cowboy, I see that. And David, thank you for gifting that. Beach JT got the membership. All right, BJT, you are now a member of the Raptor Free channel. Gifted. Yes. All right. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Cool Cat saying, oh dear, I will be even more off to a meeting. More behind off to a meeting. It's okay, Cool Cat. It's all good. Top saying, I know Pascal is not really a vocal leader, but as a star NBA vet, I found it very disappointing that he couldn't put together a decent speech at the Rico, especially in light of IT's wise words. Well, let's not compare him to other people. I think his speech was fine. I don't remember it actually. All these guys are not the best speakers. Trust me. Kevon Looney was not the best speaker. Even Norman, like whatever Norman said when he did his a little while ago, he wasn't that good either. So yeah, let's not judge him on this. In some ways, we said Siakam's leadership really comes from what he does on the court. He's a leader in doing, not necessarily in saying. It doesn't come natural to him to be kind of like, hey guys, listen, shut up. I'm in charge. That's not who he is. He's a humble guy to a degree. So him kind of taking charge and being an alpha in that way, it's not probably likely. In some ways, Scotty's more likely to be doing this in the near future. But Siakam can be the leader of the team just in his actions on the court. And that leadership is so invaluable and important because he's shown a drive and a will to win that is important to follow the rest of the guys. Yeah, I wouldn't judge this. In some ways, the microphones aren't very good at the end of the Rico runs. So you're not hearing them very well with the volume of what they're saying. So don't judge anything from his leadership just from a Rico Hines pep speech at the end of it. Really don't, because the microphones don't catch him all the way. Because he was kind of, they're not talking very loud. You won't hear him very well. Wayne saying, thanks for mentioning Ron Harper Jr. Apart from Malachi, I really want Ron to succeed with us. He works. None of us can deny his work ethic, and we should all be boosting his ego and help him. Yeah, I'm all about that too. He's got the pedigree. He's Ron Harper Jr. But there's stuff about him that's very interesting to me. His wide body and his all-around play are very interesting. In some ways, he is a lot like Scotty. He's just a couple of inches shorter than him. There's some things about Ron that are similar to Scott. And I'm not against that, having a little mini Scotty that's kind of around the team that can do Scotty kind of stuff. Because he can. He can do everything just like Scott can to a degree. Not on the same level. But he can block shots, get steals, rebound, get assists, shoot threes. He can dunk. Yeah, he can do it all too. It'll be interesting to see his path this year. This year, in some ways, he needs to bust out and mess this league up. Like at least on G League level. I want to see him have a real leap where he's dominating in the G League. Like where he's one of the top scorers in the G League. I want to see that consistency this year from Harper Jr. G saying Jakob, Pascal, Scotty, and OG are big and athletic. Want to see them together and not crazy about trading any of them right now. See, a lot of y'all are the same way. I get it. Once again, I'm open to it if it happens. And that's why I'm kind of talking about it now, because I can see that it could possibly happen. But once again, the whole most important thing as a Raptor freak is trust in Masai. And if they feel like it's the best deal and the thing to do at that time, they'll do it. But if they don't feel like it's the right thing to do, they won't. So let's just go with the flow and see what they do. If they do get him, well, let's see how it goes. If they don't, then it wasn't meant to be. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, Mo's saying a great partnership between the Raptors and the NBA's Player Association. The future is bright via Mrs. Coach Lacey and the Raptors. I'm not even sure who that is. I'm not sure who Monique's talking about. David's saying Freedom Liberty was looking good out there. Yeah. Yeah, with his long sweatpants, being that baller guy, being that dude. Chris Boucher also out there looking like one of those dudes. When you go and do pickup games at the Y or somewhere else. Yeah, we know these types of guys. They're hoopers. They're guys that get out there. Chris was a little surly, got a little weird body attitude to his body language, but he's out there working and hooping. And that's what Javon Freeman Liberty was doing also, hooping. And that's what I like to see. Shaq Lindsay saying Gary Trent Jr. is coming with a different mindset. I noticed Gary is allowing the game to come to him rather than force shots, also allowing the hand of Scotty to go off. Yeah. Gary's really smart player, and he's not a selfish dude, but he'll get his. The thing about Gary is a prodigy. He's been shooting and doing basketball things since he was very little, so it's all very ingrained in him. Grady has it too. In some ways, they're both prodigies in this way, and that's why they're both great shooters. In some ways, Gary is all second nature, and in some ways he's not worried about things. He has a very strong confidence, and in some ways he's able to expand his game and play as a more complete team player because of his own confidence in his game. He doesn't need to be fed necessarily to do good stuff for us. And in some ways, he's a good decoy and also a good setup man, as you brought up just now. Quick Take saying Grady should watch some Reggie Miller tapes, off-ball movement. He actually has already. He mentioned watching this. He said that he's watched Reggie Miller extensively in an interview this summer. He said he watched Clay, he watched Steph, and he watched Reggie Miller. Those are people he definitely takes a lot from. Definitely. Clay and Reggie Miller may be two of his biggest influences, honestly. G saying, good point. Grady didn't get a lot of touches, but he was helping with spacing a lot regardless of it. Yeah, and hustle. The hustle he showed in that clip is amazing. You should go look at it. Very dogged defense. He may be a step slow, but he worked around those screens, and he was very much paying attention and working really well with his teammates to keep the defensive seal barrier up, and him moving around and getting over. Really, really smart the way he's working with Scotty and Jakob. I'm telling you. Really, really smart. David's saying that NBA quick takes. Yes, exactly. Yes. Talking about Reggie Miller. Wayne's saying don't get the nonchalance about Rico runs. It's like going to the park and playing quality competitive pickup games. That's a go every time. Yeah, and like I said at the beginning of the stream, the quality of who was there was really big time. There's a lot of veteran NBA players at this one. Tim Hardaway Jr., Grant Williams, IT, Seth Curry. These are not like new guys in the NBA. Some of these guys are like 10-year pros in the NBA. So the caliber of Rico Hines Runs and the Raptors Rico Hines Runs clip was very high. Tim Hardaway Jr., hello. Seth Curry, these are the sons of NBA players. Grant Williams, hello. Josh Christopher and his stupid ass talent, his crazy ass immense talent with knuckleheaded brain. Yeah, you saw him out there too. All right, let's see. David's saying, all I know is we looked unstoppable last year during the Rico runs, and then the season started. Yeah. Well, we did carry that good feeling and good energy through until Dallas and Pascal did the splits on the wet floor at the Mavericks arena. That's when it all unraveled. We were fine. We actually got the good feelings. Like Paul George said, the Raptors better start real good because the way they're working at Rico Hines runs. Well, we actually did get that good start. It was just as soon as Siakam went down, that really derailed our season. And then Precious went down also at some point. And then confusion and weird stuff happened around November with bad losses to Orlando. The two losses to Orlando in Orlando absolutely destroyed our team to a degree. And then we lost to Brooklyn in a blowout. We lost to the New Orleans Pelicans in a blowout. And it was just unraveling at that point. And then there was some weird stuff that happened with Nick and Earl Watson, some weird stuff that happened with Nick and a player. And then boom, the team is not with Nick anymore, right around Christmas, New Year's. And it gets worse and worse as the season goes on. Nick freezes out Thad Young from getting his bonus. And the rest of the players are just kind of like going through the motions. And just like Chris Boucher said, it was a weird year. It was a weird year. They lost. Nick Nurse lost them around Christmas when he took that leave of absence and he was gone all of a sudden. And Adrian Griffin was coaching our team. That was a signal right there that something was wrong. And then Earl Watson not making it to New York for that New York game on the road, that was another signal that something was wrong. So there were a lot of different places where things kind of split. And it was like it all got a little worse and went down paths that were bad for the Raptors last year. We couldn't do enough to fix it because in some ways Masai wasn't watching closely. He trusted Nick to handle the team. Well, he shouldn't have. And that's what he said at the end of the year. And Nick was inactive at getting the team to come back together and being all together as one. So he had to go. And Darko, this is one of his strengths, is keeping a team together and feeling strong and feeling like Superman and feeling like they're all together and all for one. So that's why the change was made. And Darko is a different coach in this aspect. So we'll have to see if Darko can be preventative of any kind of dumpster fires, conflict, or problems within the team because of his nature and the way he coaches. In some ways, he's more of a people person than Nick Nurse was. And that's why I think we'll be in better shape. Not to mention having Garrett Temple around as a good old vet. Really, really one of the best teammates you can have in the NBA on a team is what I've heard, basically. So let's see. Wayne saying, it's all about the Larry O'Briens. We want trophies, parades, and banners. And that's right. When we got Kawhi Leonard, I was like, what are we doing? We just sold out our most honorable, loyal player in the history of the Raptors franchise to get Kawhi Leonard, this asshole, this fucking guy who wouldn't even show up for the Spurs this whole past year. This guy, we don't even know what he's going to bring us. Yeah, it made me worried, but boy, was the payoff big. That's what I'm saying. High risk, high reward. And that's what Lillard would be to a degree. A high risk reward, just like Kawhi Leonard. And that's why I caution Raptors fans, before you just dismiss this idea, understand this could really be something. Seriously. Yeah. Quick Take saying, I wonder what's in the package for Lillard. Well, they're saying they've actually made the package on ESPN. You know, it's funny. They got the Raptors Rico Hines Runs on the front page of ESPN's NBA page right now. It's hilarious. They got us on blast right there. All right. This is what they're saying the deal could be on. This is Bobby Marks, I think, or somebody. Who is it exactly? It says NBA Insiders, but I don't know. We'll see who wrote this one in particular. The deal to the Raptors is basically OG Anunoby, Chris Bosh, Thad Young, Grady Dick, and 2 first-round picks. That's the one that the ESPN's promoting. That's crazy to me. In some ways, switch Grady out for Malachi and make it OG, Chris, Thad, and Malachi and 2 first-round picks. And then we get straight up, we get Lillard. And it's like a lot of risks for both sides, honestly, but I understand that. So, but that's what Bobby Marks is saying and Andrew Lopez on ESPN. So that's the deal that they have promoted. I think you switch Grady out and put Malachi in there. It makes more sense. Yeah. So Monique saying this Dame talk is somewhat silly. He ain't coming here, and I'm not talking about you. Other reports. I know it sounds silly, but it's not. It is not silly. I've said this all summer, Monique. I said this Dame Lillard stuff. We are a contender, and we have been this whole time. And it's for real. It's not full bullshit. Masai and Bobby are talking to Portland, and this could happen. I just want y'all to be braced for this, just in case. If it doesn't happen, so be it. We'll all be happy and we'll sleep well at night. But if it does happen, just be ready for it just in case, Mo. That's all I'm saying. If it doesn't happen, I'm not upset either way. Like I said, I don't have an ego in this. If we trade for Dame Lillard, I'll make the best of it. If we don't, I'll make the best of it either way. And that's just how I'm at. I don't think this is silly. This is real talk. And this is seriously could happen. Mo, I know the difference between bullshit, baseless rumors that aren't realistic and are just kind of crazy made up bullshit by fans. This is not what this is. This is for real. This is for real. This is getting past rumor shit and getting to the point where this could seriously happen. Is what I'm saying. David, thank you once again for the super chat, and you're welcome. I appreciate your thank you. And every day, 9:30, you know I'll be here for you, brother. That's right. G saying, I like the dunk stare downs. I'm not sure why. I mean, in some ways, I get it. He wants to have something, but that's not the right thing, Scott. Doing this is good. Your little Superman pose where you flex after you make shots, that's badass. But staring people down, it's just not fundamentally good. In some ways, it pisses me off. But Scott's going to do it. Scott's going to do it. Kareem saying, I love the dunk stare downs. It's creative, original, and a great staple. Yeah, I don't know. We don't need to be like wrestlers and have finishing moves. We don't need to have this kind of shit. I mean, I get it. You want to have something that you do, that's great. You want to have some signature thing that you're known for, like Michael with the tongue wagging. Okay. But Scott, does it have to be this? Seriously, I know you've been doing this since you were a little kid. In some ways, that shows the immaturity of it. That in some point, some coach should have told you, don't do that shit anymore. Seriously, you're on my team, Scott. You don't do that shit. I'm the coach here, and that's bush league bullshit you're doing out there. In some ways, a coach should have like corrected this shit a long time ago, because he was doing this shit in elementary school. He's doing it in middle school, doing it at FSU, and now he's doing it in the NBA. And in some ways, that's the failure of his coaches to allow him to do bush league shit like that. I love Scott. I'm the Raptors freak. I love the Raptors, and I do not like him doing that. I really don't. I really, really don't. It's going to fuck us up in a game one day, and y'all are going to understand why I don't like it. Because he'll do something stupid like that, and it'll fuck us up in some bad, weird way. And it'll be like, oh my gosh, Raptor Freak was right. Scotty should have never been doing that. All right, let's keep going. David's saying, okay, I will get him the check to check the email and register. I haven't seen the email. We will do it tonight when he's back from the office. Awesome. Yeah, get Peter. I know it goes to his email. I don't know why. You guys shared the team last year. There was a David's Peerless team, but it wasn't you. It was Dizzy David. And I don't see him on this chat or talking to us ever, so I'm not really sending him an invite to come back. Some of those teams that didn't, people like Scott B, he's gone. I don't know. I seen him in chats dissing me and Chev, so I know he's not watching me anymore. So there are a few open spots from teams that aren't going to return last year. I want Greg to come back. I don't know if Gubstown Clink is going to take his team back. I sent him an invite to rejoin in the league and play in his league, play in his team. Greg, if you watch this later, please join also. We'd like you to return, Gubstown Clink, please. Stargate saying at Black Talk, I'm with you on this Lillard. Wrong timing. In some ways, I could get what you guys are saying. Blazers are going to want at least one of our top players back. I can't afford to give up any of them for him. It's not the same scenario as DeMar. I get it. Because in some ways, you're saying DeMar was hitting his ceiling with what he could do for us in the Raptors, and it's different that way. In some ways, OG is not. OG's still got more potential and going forward. I get it. I get what you're saying. You know what? I won't disagree. In some ways, this isn't the most opportune timing to do this. Maybe that's part of the reason why Masai's not hard up to try and do this. Once again, the leverage is with the team that is trading with Portland, not with Portland. Portland's in trouble. Portland has to get rid of him, just like Philadelphia's got to get rid of Harden. And this is why they're having such a hard time dealing these guys, is because they don't understand. They don't have the leverage. The leverage is with the team that does the deal with those teams, Philadelphia and Portland. It's not with those teams. They can try and get the farm, but they're not going to get that. In some ways, people just say, we don't care. The Raptors don't have to do a deal with you. We're set. We're fine. If things change and our season's not going very well, well, maybe Masai may be more likely to look at maybe possibly dealing for Lillard if he's still available. That's what I'm saying. It could very well be this, that we start the season as we are right now. And if we do kick ass, well, then we don't need to talk to them about Lillard at all. If we don't and we're having trouble and Masai and Bobby determine that he thinks that we get Lillard, it'll help us, then they'll do it. And it may be in the middle of the season. So that's the thing. This isn't going to go away until Lillard moves somewhere. This is not going to go away until Lillard goes somewhere. If he goes to Miami, then it's over. That's it. If he goes to any other team, it's over. If he comes here, it's over. That's it. Until he moves, it won't go away. It'll continue the whole entire season, y'all, just so y'all know. I don't mind it because in some ways it gives us relevance. And it also it makes us look like we're, in some ways we're rivaling the Miami Heat to get a player right now. There's nothing wrong with that. Seriously. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I agree with you guys. In some ways the timing's not right. And this isn't the same exact situation as DeMar for Kawhi. For sure. You guys have good points, Blackhawk and Stargate. Quick Takes is saying Lillard will play more of a facilitating role. I could see that. And he can be a safety valve, and he could still be that big time guy who shoots at the end of games that takes you home when you need it really badly. He has so much experience with that. Hell, you can drop a 50 piece for us every once in a while. I have no problem with that. That kind of like amazing play in a Raptor uniform with a player of that caliber, that you love to see that. That's like Kawhi Leonard kind of shit I'm talking about right there. Yeah. Yeah, Blackhawks giving a thumbs up to Stargate. Shaq Lindsay saying having Scotty Pascal on the block with Damian running the point guard would be dangerous. They all complement each other in different ways. They've decided that Siakam and Lillard is just this awesome pairing, and this is why they've been trying to get Siakam to come to Portland. Is that everybody's just decided that their games fit each other so well because they're opposites in some ways, and that is true. In a lot of ways, they probably would help each other a lot, So, man, they would be a deadly pairing. They put this up on NBA Central on Twitter the other day. What would this big three be like? Siakam, Barnes, and Lillard. And a lot of people were like, whoa, wait a second. Some people were like, this isn't a big three. And they're dissing the Raptors as usual. But some people were like, this team would run the East. This team would run the East if you got Lillard with Barnes and Siakam. Seriously. And that's not even worrying about who all the rest of the team is. You still have good players around them. I'm telling you, I think that's right. That if we got Lillard and we managed to keep Siakam and Barnes here with him, we would be one of the top teams in the East. Seriously, for sure. Let's see. Stargate saying if OG leaves this team, our defense drops significantly, at least 5 spots. He is the only one on this team who has the defensive IQ to be committed to both one-on-one and help defenses. I won't deny that OG's defensive acumen and skills are top-notch, if not elite, number one in the whole entire league. But you are kind of dissing the other great defenders on our team, like Precious, Scotty, Pascal. We have great defenders from like 1 through 9. That's part of why Vision 6-9 is so awesome, is because when you do Vision 6-9, you get just generally good defenders overall. So I don't know how much our defense would drop off. We've had OG hurt at different times in the last few years, and our defense has been just as good in some ways without him in the lineup. In some ways, it's way better with him in the lineup. And I totally get what you're saying. But don't diss our whole entire team's great defense, because in some ways, a lot of our guys are very good defenders. It's just OG is absolutely the number one best defender for sure. For sure. You're right. But don't discredit Scott or Precious or Pascal or Jakob. These guys are very good defenders. And I don't know, even with our best defender leaving, if our defense drops off that much, in some ways. Nako saying, you could convince me to an OKC trade. What are you talking about? Trading with OKC and us? No, that's not part of it. OKC's talking about trading with Portland to get Lillard. That's what's going on right now. Blackhawk saying, quick takes. Nah, it's normal time for me. Got to multitask with work. Neil's at work. He's just getting his little radio show while he's working at the same time. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Always happy to see Neil make the chat. Seriously. Trevor J saying, people need to stop talking about Pascal because we don't know what previous engagement that he had to attend to. So stop the noise, people. Yeah, his absence doesn't mean anything. He has other prior engagements. His schedule may have been just a little bit different. He wasn't lining up with people. And maybe it was Jakob. He's like, Jakob, I'm in Austria. Come see me. Oh, I'm in Greece. Pascal, I'm on the beach at Greece. I'm sorry. Are you going to come see me or not? What? You're not my friend anymore. Why don't you come talk to me? Jakob Hurdle. And it's like, all right, I'll come see you at Rico Hines Runs. Okay. All right. Where's Pascal, Rico? Oh, he left. He went to Austria. Wow. You just can't link up for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. Fiercely saying, if Dame comes as a free agent, so be it. I don't want to lose our key players via trade. Anyone knows when his contract is up? He has at least 2 years, if not 3 years on his contract, including this year. So if we traded for him, we'd get him at least for this year and next year, if not 3 years. So it's not like Kawhi, trust me. It's not the kind of thing where he's just like up and go. He'll come here and he'll have some success. He'll see how much better it is, just like Gary saw when he came here from Portland. And he will kick ass, and he'll love being in Toronto. I'm going to tell you that right now. If Dame Lillard gets traded to the Raptors, he will show up. He will love it. He will be successful. We will win our second championship in the next 3 years. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that over and over again. If he comes here, he will show up. First of all, people like Sham said, "Oh, if he gets traded to Toronto, he won't report." That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's Sham saying that shit. Dame Lillard is smart enough to know Scotty Barnes is a good player, and Pascal is very good too, and that he would enjoy coming and trying out things with a defensive-minded team around him. No, he's smart enough to know this. And in some ways, like I love what he said. He said something about I would never play for the Warriors yesterday because it's sellout. And he kind of made fun of Kevin Durant for doing it. But then he said he'd turn around and play for the Lakers, though. I'd love to play for the Lakers, though. And I'm like, Portland fans are probably like, yeah, I love you for saying that about the Warriors. But what the fuck are you saying about the Lakers, Lillard? That you come and play for the Lakers? I don't know. Lillard's weird right now. He has another new video out. He just dropped yesterday. I'm going to have to watch it on Friday and see how good it is. His last video wasn't that good. But let's see how his video is this week. He's got a new music video out. I got to watch it. Let's see. Trevor's saying, can't give up our best defensive player in the league. Let's see. Hang on. OG, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I get it, y'all. Y'all don't like this either. If we were talking about the Kawhi trade leading up to it ahead of time, you would have been like, no, fuck this. We're not doing this to DeMar. We're not doing this to Pirtle. We love Pirtle. He's our new center. We don't want to trade Pirtle for Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just there's a little bit more talking about it out in open because it's realistic. Quick Take saying, oh, all right, 100%. What's the point of having top-notch defense to sacrifice offense? Yeah, that's one thing. It's like, look, we had such good defense. We used so much energy on defense. We need a little help on the offensive end, and that's what Lillard is. He may be one of the top 5 best offensive weapons in the entire league right now. And in some ways, that is very appealing to me to kind of balance our look on our team with the defensive prowess. Let's get a more offensive big weapon like him involved in our team again. Quick Take saying we need balance. Stargate saying, thank you, Trevor J. Who are we getting back to at least fill that defensive void? If we get a Dylan Brooks or a Marcus Smart type player, then I say maybe we can part with OG. But other than that, it's not worth it. Well, what if Scotty becomes like the next OG on our team? What if Precious is? Both those guys have the goods to be as good as OG. That's the thing. On the down low, both those guys have the physical traits and the things that they want to do to be like them. They both said the same thing. They want to be the best defensive player on the team. So these guys were gunning for OG spot. They seriously are already. Like Scotty's learning from OG, and he wants to be as good as him. Precious, the same thing. So I'll say that. These guys are already on our team. We don't need to go get Dylan Brooks or Marcus Smart. We have these defensive guys to fill up the void already on the team. Top saying Scotty, Dame, Pascal, and Pirtle. Who's the starting shooting guard? He needs height and D to play with Dame, who isn't the best defender. You would also need a good shooting big. Those would be the glaring holes. I don't know. Listen, you're saying because of who I said would be involved in that trade. I don't know. Gary may still be on this team. I don't think we're going to turn around and trade Gary back to Portland unless they absolutely demanded it. So it could be that Gary's starting with Dame, and they've played together before. So they already have a lot of time together. They know each other. So it could be Gary with them. It could be that Dennis is still on our team, and Dennis starts at point guard with Dame. It could be very well that Dennis gets traded to Portland in that deal as part of the salary cap. He looks real good right now. In some ways, Dennis, I love Dennis. I want Dennis to play for the Raptors. But in some ways, he's at really high trade value right now because of his performance at the World Cup with Germany. And in some ways, he could be put in the deal and take some of that salary spot with $16 million of the deal being in Dennis Schroeder. That could be possible that he's in part of the deal. Fiercely saying that David is the Raptor Freak Santa. Yeah, a little bit like that, I guess. Stargate saying at top, exactly. Players who are great on both ends, one-on-one, and help defenses are very, very rare. You don't just give up those type of players, even for a volume scorer like Lillard. I don't know. We'll see. It's all the logic and thinking of Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri. We'll have to see what they think. Wayne saying, on Pascal being nonverbal is the common sense of a smart person knowing public speaking is not their thing and the smarts to keep their mouth shut. Stop expecting ball players to be articulate speakers. Yeah. They're not all like that. You know, Scotty has had his struggles with his public speaking, and he doesn't like it at all. In some ways, he doesn't like talking. He'll talk to his teammates in an informal setting, but he doesn't like talking in front of a camera or a microphone. So, and Siakam may be a little bit like that too. In some ways, he's gotten more comfortable with it because it's just a part of the business. But when he was a young man, I'll bet you he was shy, and he didn't want to necessarily have lights and cameras and microphones in his face like that. Yeah. Fiercely Saw Serious. Chris Bosh is back. No, I meant Boucher. If I said Chris Bosh in that ESPN trade, I meant Boucher. If I said Chris Bosh, that was a verbal slip by me. OG Ananobi, Chris Boucher, Thad Young, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks. That's what they're saying. No, not Chris Bosh. Definitely not him. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos here. Good to see Carlo JS. Morning, fellow freaks. David's laughing. Quick take saying, at least we know you're human, Lex. Yeah, I guess I made a mistake. I make that mistake sometimes with Chris Bosh, Chris Boucher. That's a logical one for a Raptors fan to make, I guess. Most saying, Lex, it's the video I posted in the group from Miss Coach Lacey congratulating on 900 videos, etc. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Miss Coach Lacey. I'm not sure what that is still. I don't know if I watched that, Monique. Is it in the chat or is it? Yeah, I don't know where that is. Let me see. Let me see if I can see if Monique posted it on here. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that clip. It must have just fell through the cracks for me. I don't know what you're talking about. Is it that lady who did like the rock, paper, scissors with them or something? That's the coach you're talking about? The one who made them do rock, paper, scissors? I think that's who that is. That was a couple months ago. Quick Taste saying OG is a role player, really, really good role player at best. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's a star. I think he's getting close to superstar level, and they're actually kind of starting to talk about him like that on the other side of the border. Top saying agreed. If OG is not the primary guy you're giving up and you're not gutting your team, you have to pull the trigger. See, there you go. I don't know. We'll just see. Once again, we're speculating a lot. We'll do more of it tomorrow. But yeah, whatever happens will happen. Fiercely saying if Lillard comes aboard, I'll reignite the narrative. We need a superstar to win. Annoying as hell. I believe we have a great shot with the current roster. Well, it doesn't matter if they label it, oh, we need a superstar to win. Everybody's saying that you need superstars to win in the league, and that's true to an extent. You really do need good superstars. That's why we need Scotty to grow into more of one to stand beside Pascal if we're not going to get Lillard or something like that. Yeah, there we go. Cut off. All right, let me do the Instagram stories. Dennis is in his city, and it's in Germany. So he's still in Europe. He's not come over here yet. And he wants his wife to get 100,000 subscriptions. So go follow Ellen Schroeder right now. If you haven't followed her yet, Dennis really wants this to happen. And he's showing the love embrace between the two of them after he won a World Cup. To share this moment with you is priceless. All the sacrifices you take for me to make me happy. Game ready is incredible. There you go. To be game ready. That's right. To be happy and game ready. She does really do a lot of great things for him as far as getting him ready for games. I watched some of their YouTube and she does like facials to him, like gives him like skincare treatments and really like babies him and pampers him and the things that he likes. Like they have a routine for game day where Ellen Schroeder sets up all this stuff for Dennis so that he feels like he's really on top of things. So in some ways, that's so awesome to see such a supportive wife really helping Dennis with his career. And in some ways, her hard work and helping him be ready and be his best is what contributed to Germany's success at the World Cup in some ways. So I love that partnership and that relationship between Ellen and Dennis Schroeder. She is really wind beneath his wings and pushing him with all kinds of prep work and helping him on game days. So that's awesome stuff. Let's see. Also got let's see, where are we? Marquise Noel showing posts of him at Summer League playing in the Raptors red with Grady Dick, showing some of his highlights. He's really is proud of being a Raptor. He hasn't even played for us yet, and he's already tying in himself to like the culture, the winning of the championship, and different things. Marquise is all about it. And listen, we want you to be that guy. You know, he's also asking people 14 hours ago, should he play 2K or Warzone? Yeah, all right, good stuff. Okay, Monique's got her stuff on blast with all different fans on her Instagram stories. showing different stuff that she's done, like the Google Pixel ad, and different fans, including my friend Thuzy, who's an usher on the 300 level at Scotiabank Arena, and the broadcast crew. Coloco saying happy birthday to Precious. He's somebody I wish I'd seen on the Rico Runs, and I'm worried about him. Like I said, he's listed as injured on the Raptors ESPN roster. Him and Jeff are day to day from the summer league. Well, Coloco did not play in the Rico Runs, and where was he? That has me a little worried. Seriously, I'm still a little worried about you, Colokes. Let's see. Day in a life, like we said, Siakam at Alexandra Park yesterday with John Tavares, and dedicating and renewing this new court for that community. Fantastic stuff, Siakam. Go check it out in his comments or in his Instagram stories. You can see the awesome stuff happening at the hoop I used to hoop at. So much fun. Let's see who else we got on here. Is there anybody else? I think that's it. Slim Duck's got some jokes or something. I don't know. I think that's it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to the Instagram today at all. So yeah, let's keep going. Wayne saying, Lex, I don't do trade talk, but kindly remind our freaks that OG was injured during our championship season. We won without him. We love OG. Don't want him to go, but that's a deal you do. Yeah, there you go. I'm not all about trade talk. I don't talk frivolously about trading our players, but if I really seriously think it'll make us have a leap or do well, I can be for it. And I can see that being in this situation with Lillard. I really, really can. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Most saying, yes, it is. Laugh out loud. W stream always. Thank you. And quick take saying that way. And Denial saying, I'm just happy the vibe should be good this season. Happy Wednesday, y'all. You go, Denial. So awesome. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and do the same for NBA Quick Takes. His great channel over there doing previews for all the NBA teams. Definitely check it out. Listen, the Raptors were at Rico Runs. If you have not watched this clip yet, it's a half hour of goodness. You're going to get on there and you can get hyped after you watch it. You're going to see a little bit of good stuff from each one of the Raptors that was there. A lot of good stuff from Scotty. Some great stuff from Pirtle and Precious and Chris and Grady. All those guys doing some fun stuff. So definitely watch that. If you did not watch it yet, you have something very fun to catch up on right now. So go watch that clip. Rico Hines dropped yesterday. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll continue our Dame Lillard talk, the Dame Lillard think tank. We're going to talk about yes or no. Do you want Dame on this team or not? I might even put a poll up and this afternoon to test the waters and see what you guys are saying in the poll. And we'll see the percentages of how many of y'all like the idea of Dame Lillard being on the Raptors and how many of y'all are like, no, we are good as we are. Like a lot of y'all have said today. I want to see what's up. Yeah, Kenny saying, we'll check it out now. Have a great day. Yeah, definitely watch it, Kenny. It's so good. You're going to be like, Scotty is a very good player. And you're going to be happy about that. Quick takes, thumbs up. Peace out, y'all. Let's go Raptors.